Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wa ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa tuhhu la sharika la wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluhu. Assalamualaikum warahmatullah. It is your host Amira, and you are now tuned in to the Between Us and Allah podcast. All right, let's get straight to it. So this is episode 1. I am so nervous. I'm gonna just get out straight like that. Like, I'm so nervous. It's taken me so long to actually sit down and record this. It is now like the 3rd of Zulhijjah, and I've been saying that I'm just gonna start since before Ramadan. So alhamdulillah, I'm finally here. Finally got a chance to sit down and take a minute to record this episode. So yes, and I'm sorry guys, I do have a cat. So if you hear my cat in the back, I'm gonna go let him out. But if you do hear a cat in the back, I am sorry in advance. That is my son back there. But yes, okay, so episode 1, like I said, we're finally here, and I just wanted to take this episode to get to know me. Like, why do you guys want to listen to me? Like, why would y'all want to listen to me yap all day? Everybody has their personal lives, everybody has their own friends and their own family. You could listen to yourself talk all day if you really felt like it, but why listen to me? So I'm just going to kind of introduce myself, introduce my intentions with the podcast, my journey with Islam and everything, and yeah, we'll go from there. So, to get started, yes, my name is Amira. Like I said, I'm 20 years old. I am African American, and I live in the Metro Atlanta area. I'm a freshman I'm not. I just finished my freshman year of college. I'm a nursing major. I'm pursuing a degree in healthcare, and yeah, I don't want to share too much about my personal life because this is not a YouTube channel. Like, this isn't just me talking about myself all the time. I do want to make it more of a like Between Us and Allah is the name of the podcast. It's not Amira's World, Amira's Mind, life in a day of Amira. Like, it's not going to be that type of thing, but I do want to like build a relationship with the people who are listening to me on here, even if it's just like a one-sided thing. So yeah, inshallah. Okay, so my journey with Islam. So I kind of started just like your traditional American girl, like, going to Sunday school every Sunday. I'm Muslim through my father, obviously. So I was born Muslim, but, everybody has to find the religion and find the deen on their own. So I went to Sunday school and I kind of learned the basics. I learned how to pray and everything like that through there. But I really, I went to public school growing up, so I wasn't, I wasn't in Islamic school or anything like that. So Sunday school and at home is where I learned all of my, traditional Islamic studies, the prophet stories, how to pray, how to make wudu, etc. But I started learning myself in 2020. The COVID pandemic, hit everybody, and it was a pretty significant time in everybody's life, but I especially like COVID. It was hard for me because I'm a really social person. I love to be outside. I love to be connecting with people. I'm a social butterfly, but that time that Allah made us all sit down and kind of like focus on ourselves and what we had going on in our own homes is when I took the time to, go out and study Islam and stuff like that. So yep, that's when I kind of started learning. I watched YouTube videos. I read the Quran a lot more. That was my first Ramadan that I got to fast every single day. And, I think I only missed like 5 days because obvious reasons and stuff like that. So, yeah, after 2020, I went to high school and then I kind of did what everybody else does in high school. You get involved in clubs and sports and so many things, all your little friends and all those things going on. But, yeah, I didn't really have that like tied down, grounded feeling that I wanted to, like I did in 2020, because I was no longer at home. Everything with the hijab and all that was easy in 2020. Then you go to high school and it's like, a world of change. Like, COVID hit when I was in 8th grade. So going from there to going to public school, back to public school or whatever, and going to high school at that, it was just a lot of changes going on. But alhamdulillah, I still had the deen in my life. It just wasn't, as prominent as I wanted it to be. So I did feel that kind of disconnect or whatever. And as the years went on in high school, it kind of got worse and it grew. And then when I graduated high school, I really wanted to attend this Islamic studies program in my area. It is called Medina Institute. I will literally do a whole episode on my experience with, my Islamic studies journey. Alhamdulillah, it was like the best decision I ever made. But not today. Today we're just doing an introduction. So yeah, after I graduated, I really wanted to do the program, and I ended up going back and forth between that and college, and finally, Allah like made a decision for me. I'm so grateful. I'm so thankful that I had that opportunity. But I did end up taking a gap year after high school, and I went along and I did the Medina Institute 1-year intensive in Arabic and Islamic studies program. And like I said, I'll do a whole episode on that, being a student of knowledge, what that was like, what that experience was like. My DMs are always open, especially to talk about stuff like that. Even if you guys are, a million miles away, if there's something similar in your area, I can always share, everything, the knowledge I gained and how beneficial that was for me and how much that changed in my life, because I know it would do the same for anyone else. So I graduated in June of 2025. From there, it was amazing, like I said. And then that kind of brings me into where I am now. So just finished my freshman year of college, like I said. I'm a nursing major in health sciences. So yeah, college, that's another episode for another day also. Like, that kind of was another shift in my life. But after taking that year to study the dean, like, it really like got me grounded, really got my feet in soil, and I have a community now and everything. So yes, that's kind of my journey. Like, I'm not perfect. Obviously, we all sin, we all make mistakes, we all have things we struggle with, we all have parts of our past that we're not proud of. But alhamdulillah, we're here, and I'm so glad to be able to have start my platform and everything, and get out in the world a little bit. So yes. All right, next segment. I just want to talk about how this idea came about, how I even wanted to become a podcaster, whatever you want to call it, how I wanted to get into sharing my story and my voice online and everything. So last year I had a couple of when I was in my gap year program, at Medina, some of my classmates were doing podcasts and stuff. So that kind of introduced me to the idea, because when I think of a podcast, I'm like, okay, well, you have to have something to talk about. And then I kind of not watch them. I don't listen to my classmates' podcasts or anything like that, because I know them in real life. But just kind of seeing the behind the scenes of how they would direct things and how their ideas came about, that kind of intrigued me. But I also didn't want to just be following the next person if that wasn't an original idea. So that was just kind of where the idea started. And then the second thing was myself trying to get away from music. That's a goal I have. A lot of things, especially American Muslims, but Muslims in general, that is something our generation really struggles with, is music and Quran and things like that. So that was another thing. Me personally, getting out of music podcasts helped me so much. And it's kind of different because it kind of feels like you're on the phone. It's less than a YouTube video, but it's more than, just, whatever. It's not a visual, but it's just kind of you're listening to somebody, and you can listen to them talk for hours. You can listen to them talk while you're cleaning, while you're walking, or who knows what, while you're driving. All these different things you're doing, kind of the same way that music is just a filler sometimes, even if it's just background noise, if it's just something you're listening to while you're studying. But I personally have had such a great experience with podcasts, and they're things you can listen to over and over. They have so many benefits, and I think it's a beautiful thing, especially as a Muslim woman, where you don't have to worry about, or at least not as much as being on video, being sexualized or having, inappropriate non-mahram men on your page, being weird or making haram police comments about you and stuff like that. It's just my voice. I don't really know what to. People find a reason to hate on that. People will find a reason to hate on anything. But that's another thing I really like about podcasting. The third thing was when I made my vision board for this year, because I try to do vision boards every year. I don't always actually end up doing one. I did one in 2024, didn't do one in 2025. So I made sure to do one in 2026. And when I made my vision board, I did put a mic on there, and I was like, I do like to sing, but I'm not a singer. I'm not a singer. That's just something people do in the shower. And I was like, okay, well, maybe I should get more into nasheeds, or I like to sing nasheeds and stuff like that. So that was a thought. But also, I kind of had podcasts in the back of my mind when I made that, and I made it in January. So I'm like, maybe I will get into it, but it was just a thought in the back of my mind. So I remember my mom asked me, she was going through my vision board or whatever, and she wanted me to explain everything on there. And she's like, oh, what's the mic for? What is that for? And I was like, oh, just podcasts. I want to get into listening to podcasts more. Like I said, getting out of music. And yeah, she was like, oh, do you want to be a podcaster? And I was like, nah, probably not. And I just remember after she said that, it kind of put the idea in my head. I'm like, do you want to be a podcaster? Do you want to, I don't even know if that's what we're supposed to be called, but do you want to be somebody who, gets on the mic and puts her ideas out there? And that kind of sparked the thought as well. But the thing that really kind of hit the nail in the head and maybe actually take off and want to do it for real. I went to the masjid. This is sometime, I want to say sometime in January when I was home on winter break before I went back to school. And one of the I don't even want to call her auntie because that's my girl for real, but one of the older sisters, mentors at the masjid or whatever, one of the ladies who's always there, she stops me, and this is right like the last week I'm at Juma, I believe, before I go back to school. And she's like, so what are you going to do to give back to the community? What, you studied here for a year. Now it's your turn to, turn around. All this knowledge, all these good things have been put into you and put into your body, your soul, whatever. And what are you going to do to give back? And that's a really big thing. And, the Muslim community in general, but my community especially, they're always talking about giving back in whatever capacity you can, whether that's donating, whether that it's really not about money. But, if that's the best thing that you can do, then, donate. If you can donate your time, if you can volunteer, if you can teach. They're big on having people teach because, there's like a knowledge deficit in the West. There's a few good teachers, but you have to find them and stuff like that. If this sounds choppy, I'm sorry, y'all. I keep getting phone calls while I'm trying to record. But, yeah, so you got to find those good scholars, and then you can, you hope that you can get in with them and get in their classes and build a good relationship with them. So the more, the more the merrier. Everyone's different. Everyone has a different demographic, and the more people there are to get knowledge out there, the better. Good, beneficial knowledge, of course, not just people going on the internet or saying whatever with no, prior training or knowledge. But yeah, so that was another thing. And the way that she kind of worded it was like, come back to me in like 3 weeks and tell me what you're gonna do. It was like you need to find something you're gonna do for the community. And that's something I thought about, but with college and all that, it's just like a lot to balance. But also everyone has a lot going on. That doesn't mean the ummah doesn't need you. Like they, everyone got to find somewhere to give, something to do. And I feel like this is a good way I can give. I can give to my community, to extended, the extended Muslim community, people I don't even know. Inshallah, like this reaches the right crowd and everything, and Allah can, put the right people in my pathway. But yeah, that was another big motivator for me. And then oh yes, another one. Okay, so last year on my Instagram, when I was in the program during Ramadan, I would just kind of post videos here and there, me just talking about, beneficial knowledge, whatever topics I could think of, hijab, or talking about like Ummahat al-Mu'mineen, the Prophet Sallallahu wives, and the Sahabiyas of the time and stuff like that, which is things we all know about, or most of us know about, but it's always good to get a reminder about them. And yeah, so I would just kind of make little videos. I tried to do it every day, but I think after day 12 of Ramadan, I just got really tired and I couldn't do it no more. And people were actually texting me, and some people were not even Muslim watching these videos, and they're like, hey, you stopped making your videos, like what happened? Or people would stop me when I was out and be like, oh my God, I've been seeing, on your story, and it's just on my Instagram, my personal Instagram page. And they'll say, like, I saw your story, and I really, I've really been liking your videos, and these are like 2-minute videos. And I felt like I'm just talking, like I had the intention to spread beneficial knowledge, but I was not planning on that being a thing. And even later after Ramadan or whatever, I went to my track. I used to run track in high school, so I went back to the track to see my old teammates, and one of the guys who I didn't even talk to, like I really did not even talk to him like that. He was just somebody else on the team, like we're cool, but we're not close or anything, And he's like, I've been seeing the little videos you're making, and I just want to say that's really cool. I really like what you're doing. And that like stuck with me, because some things you think people aren't paying attention to, but Allah gives us all gifts. And if that's something I possess, to be able to, talk to people and they enjoy listening to me, or whatever it is, like even if they just listen to one little video and that sticks with them and that benefits them, that's through Allah. So I don't want to, they always tell us at Medina to be a river, like don't be a dam. Let the knowledge, let the blessings, let the benefit come to you, and then give it out to other people, because it's not for you. Like it's, we're all benefiting each other. And if it's all like a fluid motion, like that we're gonna be unstoppable. We're gonna be a real strong unit, because everyone has their different thing that they can give. And I feel like also, another thing, which is literally my next point, because I did try to keep points to try to stay on track. Another thing, when I was younger, I met Ferrari Simmons. I don't know if you guys are from Metro Atlanta area, but he is a big radio host here, or I don't know if he still does it anymore, but when we were kids, big radio host. He did, I think it was 107.5 or 107.9, one of those, radio stations, and he was on there. You always hear his name, Ferrari Simmons. Okay, my 5th grade teacher, he knew him, like, personally, so he had him come to our class, and talk to us. And I remember they were like, okay, raise your hand. Who in here is most likely to be a radio host? AKA who talks the most. And everyone was like, it's her. It's her. And they're talking about me. And I was like, okay, maybe I should become a radio host. That idea did not make it far. Obviously, I'm medical field. But I still think about that. Like, people actually think folks would want to hear me talk. So yeah. And then the last thing that kind of inspired me to do podcasts is I do want to get into public speaking. I love the thought of like women, especially Black women, getting out there and being present in the Dawah field, or whether that's just small women's gatherings, whether it's on a large scale, ICNA, stuff like that. Obviously when you learn more knowledge, but I love the idea of that. So yes, it's kind of like why I want to get started and everything. Okay, next section is my intentions with the podcast, which I kind of shared it already, but yes. So first thing is I do want to help sisters the way that they've helped me. Like a lot of these podcasts and things I've listened to, these people have genuinely like helped me, whether it comes to music, whether it's just like a hard day that I'm having and I'm listening to somebody who I feel like is like me, because you don't always feel like you're around people who are like you in real life. That was a big thing. Another one is just to use my voice, my personality, and my knowledge to mentor and inspire and educate sisters. I do go into spaces where there's younger girls, high school, middle school girls, and you don't realize how much of an impact you can have on somebody. So even if it's just something small, whatever benefit, whatever good they can take from that, if I can aid in any way, I would love to. Another another intention I have is just to be a form of charity and sadaqah jariyah. Like, we never know how long we're gonna live, and I have all this random, people have a million TikToks and all these useless pieces of information about them on the internet. But if you have something that's, audio recorded, whatever, your future children, your future kids could listen to that. We're in a new generation now, and it's like, don't limit the blessing. There's can be blessing in anything you do as long as you have the right intention. So boom, there's another one. Another thing is just being like a big sister for people. Like, I never had any younger siblings. I'm the youngest, but I've had people kind of call me like big sis, or doing girl talks and stuff like that. Always helped me when I was growing up, especially in middle school. Even though I do have big sisters, just like sometimes you need someone who doesn't know you in real life. They give you unbiased help, unbiased opinions, or just like general knowledge, general help that you may not get at home. So boom, that's another one. Another one is to create an online community and to expand the digital sisterhood. I know everybody knows the podcast Digital Sisterhood. So they're just one group of sisters. There is so many different sisters out here. There's so many people with amazing thoughts and ideas and different things they want to say and maybe get out to the community that just haven't been heard. And online, that's kind of where we connect to the Muslim community across the globe. We connect through our du'as, we connect through, all being Muslim, all, worshiping Allah and following the Prophet Salaam's teachings. But another way for us to connect and be able to support each other, we do have the internet now. So why not use that to our benefit, Another intention I have is to have that informal and intimate space just to talk and to be ourselves, and where we feel like, we're on the phone. Like I said, like, I feel like a lot of podcasts, or a lot of YouTube videos and a lot of lectures are very like, I'm here and you're down there. Or they're very structured and they're very educational, and that is beneficial. But sometimes you just want to like chat with your girls. And some people don't have a lot of friends, especially if you're a revert, if you're a new Muslim, or maybe if you're a newly practicing Muslim, to where you didn't have that, you didn't have that environment before, but now you do. It's like you want to, sometimes you want to find that, you find that online, and that's not a bad thing. At least that's not a bad place to start. It is important to get out, speak to people in real life, but online, that is, that's another way to do it, like I said. So yeah, just having that like a little girl space. Like, and even on TikTok especially, haram police are evil. They're horrible, and they take people away from the deen. They discourage people, and some people's intentions aren't bad, but I know a lot of them are not. They're just not helping. So girl spaces, girl talk, that is all very important. Last two, I have two more, but one more is Islam, mindset, sisterhood, girl talk. That is kind of going to be my little motto, my little description or whatever. All of those things. Islam, obviously, that is the whole point of me getting on here, because like I said, beneficial knowledge does need to be spread. I could get on here and talk about things I just are I'm nerdy about or I'm interested in with my friends. That does not need to be published for the world to listen to. Like, I mean, if you guys want, if you guys want a little segment on my interests, let me know. But I'm not really inclined to make that. I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna be honest. Like, nah. But yeah. Okay. Mindset. I feel like mindset, let's say you don't have a lot of knowledge on things, but you do have beneficial knowledge, isn't always, Islamic stuff. So just like ways to think about things, ways to get through hard times, ways to, motivational lectures and stuff like that, those don't always have to be so structured. So those mindset is a very big one as well. Sisterhood, obviously I already spoke about that, just like digital spaces, and inshallah one day we'll move to doing them live or like doing gatherings and stuff like that would be amazing. So growing that sisterhood within the deen and uniting people, because there's a lot of division amongst the Muslim community nowadays that needs to go. So yeah. And last one, girl talk, which I kind of spoke about it a little bit, but like I said, just kind of like the big sister or things you need to talk about with somebody that doesn't actually know you in real life sometimes is what you need. So yep. And the last one of my intentions is speaking helps me remember things for myself and practice what you preach. Boom. Yes, I've done halakas before in real life, and once you talk about something, you apply it to your own life. It really helps you. Like, first of all, it's a reminder. People, big sheikhs and people like that always say, like, first of all, a reminder to myself, but genuinely, you feel like a horrible person. You feel like a terrible hypocrite if you're going telling people something you're not following that exact thing that you said. So in a good way, it's a motivator, but it's also a way to, push yourself and stuff like that. So, yep, there we go. There goes my intentions or whatever. I don't know why I sound like I'm out of breath. And then next segment I want to talk about is the name, like how I got to the name. Where does the name come from? Obviously, if this is an introduction and you don't know me, you don't know nothing about me, you don't know nothing about what I'm here to talk about, I kind of spoke about myself, my intentions, but I do want to talk about the name, where the name came from. So originally I wanted to make it Life Through a Mirror's Lens, but like I said, this is not about me. This is not a YouTube channel. This is not a personal TikTok, personal blog page. Like, it's not about myself. I do not want to get on here and just talk about myself. There's plenty of people in the world who do that, and I don't want to be one of those people. I'm not a self-centered. I tried, Allahu Alam, Allah makes us all with flaws. It's not something that can't be fixed, but being a self-centered person is not part of this religion. Like, we cannot be like that. That is not the sunnah. So, yeah, it's just not about me. Like, I want this to be for us, between us. I could have made it between me and Allah, between me and God. No, but it's between us and Allah. Like, me and you, what we got to say. And, obviously Allah is always going to be in the picture, and he's always present and all hearing, he's listening to everything. So, boom, there was that. And then, like I said, not a YouTube style channel, not a personal vlogs or blogs or anything like that. And, yes, I basically just explained everything I wrote down. So, yep, that's the name. And then next section I want to cover is my inspirations. So, like, who are people that I look up to in this industry? Obviously, I'm brand freaking new. I'm the newest one out here. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like, sitting here in this moment, it's not even published yet. It's not even on the internet. So obviously there's people that I take inspiration from, that I look up to when it comes to podcasts and stuff. So first one is going to be the Digital Sisterhood. They are so entertaining. They're so professional. They're so put together. Allahumma barik. May Allah bless them and allow them to continue to benefit so many sisters across the globe. And I love everything they're doing. I love their initiative. I love, like, their format. I love everything about their stuff. And I don't want to copy because everyone's different, but I do like how they run their thing. And, inshallah, I can be able to help in a way that they have, similarly to a way that they have. So may Allah bless them. Another one is Islamic Feelings podcast. I like that one. It's pretty self-explanatory. Islamic Feelings. Another one is E-Muslima. So she's really good, and I can tell, Allahumma barik, that she has a lot of knowledge, and she's always spreading positive reminders and spreading beneficial things that are practical, that you can take notes on, and that you can and these are all on Apple Podcasts, by the way. So I don't know where else they publish to, but you can find all these on Apple Podcasts. Yes, I really like hers. Wherever you're at, which is kind of on the same vibe as Islamic Feelings, just like being it's like a vulnerable and just like being real and not being so, what is it, it's de-influencing. Okay, it's not making everything seem so perfect and like everything is, not everyone's life, nobody's life is perfect, but not everyone's life is even picture perfect. Not everyone's life is even something that you would want to show people, but you know, it's still wherever you're at, like she's there, you know. I like that. As You Are podcast, same exact concept. I don't really need to restate everything I just said. Same concept. Unknown Ucht. I love her. Allahumma barik. She's so good. So once again, I can tell she's a person of knowledge. She has great intentions. She's very helpful. She's very like direct. She'll tell you like it is, and I like that she's very professional, and she has like a unique it's crazy because her name is Unknown Ucht, but like everyone knows her, if that makes sense. Like she has a distinct persona, and I really like that about her as well. More than just a girl. Okay, this is what I was talking about with like African Americans getting more into, digital media creation and stuff like that. These are two ladies from Philly, and they live in Atlanta now, and I was following them for a long time, long before the podcast, on their TikToks and YouTubes and stuff like that. May Allah bless them as well. They are great. They're very entertaining, and it's just like, I love them. Like, you guys should definitely go check them out. I feel like they're true to themselves and entertaining, but they always keep Allah in the picture as well. And the last one is Farah on YouTube. I don't know if you guys know her. I don't even think she has her I don't even think she has like a I'm not sure if she has like a formal name, but she is also an outstanding sister. Allahumma barik. Like, I love, once again, what she does for the community, how she speaks, and she shares a lot of beneficial knowledge and a lot of mindset things as well. So yes, okay, I'm almost done. Second to last section. I want to just give some disclaimers, because I'm not gonna lie, I feel like people always putting all these labels and saying, oh, she's this, she's that, and she's gonna do this, and she's trying to do that, or whatever. And no. Let me just debunk all that stuff right now. So yes, first one is that I'm not a scholar or a teacher. I'm not qualified to teach Islam, but I do speak on what I know, my perspectives, and my experiences. So not that it's going to be all about me, but you can't speak on stuff that you're not, knowledgeable enough about. If I learned one thing from Medina, is that I know nothing. Like, the more you learn, the more you realize you don't know, and how deep Islamic studies goes. People kind of think you can learn Islamic studies in 6 months, in a year, in 5 years. Each subject you could take your entire life studying and still not know everything. So let me just leave it at that. I'm not nobody's teacher. You do not have to take knowledge from me. Obviously, if I'm going to speak on Islamic topics, I will use my notes and provide the dalils that I have. But, this is just me talking. Like, this is not, you do not have to, I am not the Prophet of Allah. So, this is not the Quran. Like, you do not, I just want to put that out there. Like, this is not that type of educational thing. Y'all can listen to Omar Suleiman and Mufti Mink speak if you want to listen to educational stuff. But yes, second one, this is not for men in any capacity. In any capacity. If you're a man and you made it this far, don't do that ever again. Like, genuinely, for real, like, this is a women's, if I could put a filter on who can even see the podcast, it would be only for women. Like, I'm sorry, but this is not for you guys. There's plenty of brothers. Oh my God. Yeah, there's plenty of podcast bros out there who are just spitting a whole bunch of stuff out into the world that does not need to really be put out there, but they do it anyway. You can go listen to any of them. I'm not going to list anybody. Y'all already know. But yeah, I don't want to receive any comments, any DMs, or any interpretations of what I had to say with men in any capacity. So please, if you made it this far, click off, block me. Like, this ain't that, honey. I'm sorry. Okay, the third one is that this is a safe and relaxed and comfortable space. I'm here to share and connect with you guys and, my DMs. And if, inshallah, when I get more experience with this, I'll have like an email or maybe like some type of anonymous Q&A thing I can do. And I have my YouTube, of course, but this is like an informal, relaxed, chill, like, girl space. So you guys can talk to me like I am your friend. Like, like, it doesn't have to be a formal thing. Like, I'm not a teacher. Like I said, I'm not nobody. Like, I'm not nobody big. I'm not nobody for real. So yeah, definitely. I want it to be interactive, and I want to get to know everybody who listens to me also. So yes. And then not lastly, I guess. Oh yeah, let me give one more. This is another disclaimer. I am not a native Arabic speaker. I know you guys can tell. Some African Americans do learn Arabic from a young age. I literally learned how to read in 2025. So some things I say I have an accent, or I might not say it right, or if I mispronounce a dua or something like that, misquote something, please forgive me. I'm trying. Like, inshallah, one day I'll be fluent Fusha and all in other dialects and conversational Arabic, but today's not that day. So, work with me. Do not be criticizing my Arabic because I know I have an accent. And the last thing I want to say, my last disclaimer, is that I am a human. I'm not perfect. If I misspeak, or, if I say something that's incorrect, or say something that offends someone, or whatever, like, that is never my intention. I'm just a person. Obviously, if I sit here and try to be a perfectionist about everything, I can try my best to be perfect, and I still won't, because we're created to make mistakes, and we're created full, I don't know if that's a word, but full of flaws, full of things that are wrong, and we're dependent on Allah completely, and He's the only one that is, I don't even want to say perfect, but He is, He transcends the creation. So, we are created with issues and problems and mistakes. So yeah, bear with me. I do not, don't cancel me. Like, I'm not trying to be, one of them people that just gets ridiculed and criticized until they quit. So yes, I'm not perfect. Don't expect me to be. I'm saying that from early on in the game. But all right. I guess that concludes my introduction, my first epi. Yeah, I hope this was a good little introduction, quick little 30 minutes. So yeah, that's probably a commute to work, commute to the mash, quick little prep for dinner. I don't know, whatever it was for you guys. But yes, inshallah, there will be many more, and I'll be getting, practicing on everything, fine tuning everything, getting better and better. And yeah, so I always want to end with a dua. This is off the top of my head. I do not pre-write these, and yeah, so. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen Rahman Rahim Maliki Yawmiddin Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in Ihdinas siratal mustaqim siratal ladzina an'amta 'alaihim ghayril maghdubi 'alaihim waladdallin. Ameen. Ya Allah, please guide everyone that is listening today. Please allow us to be able to provide a space that is healthy, that is beneficial, that is moving our ummah and the sisters in the right direction. Ya Allah, please allow everything I said to be understood. Any benefit that is from this, allow it to be accredited to you, Ya Rab, and allow any mistakes to be accredited to me, and forgive me for any of those, Ya Allah. Please allow the ummah to become closer, protect the people who need protection, and heal the people who need healing, Ya Allah. Bring us all closer together, like I said, and just continue to push us to be better people, better individuals. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad. Ameen. That'll end this one. And inshallah, I will hope to tune in with you guys next week. So, hope you enjoyed this. Alright, Assalamualaikum, y'all.